Each year, Monterey Peninsula College honors one or more individuals with the President's Award. The award recognizes that no community college, and in particular Monterey Peninsula College, can exist as a strong school without the support of its community. The award is symbolized by this beautiful maquette of a Norma Lewis statue that sits prominently in our Carolyn Page Garden in the center of our campus, where most of our students are walking by every day. This statue is called Connections, representing the connections of our college with the community. And the President's Award is given to individuals that have demonstrated tremendous commitment to both Monterey Peninsula College and our community in a sustained manner. And this year, the award's going to Victoria Samora Phillips and her husband, Luke Phillips, for their years of service.
My grandfather was certainly someone I looked up to. I was 8, 9, 10. I remember at the grocery store one time, the checker was looking at her clock and saying, "Oh, I'm almost off, I'm almost off." And as we walk away, my grandfather says, "Sam, I never knew what time it was at my job." And his point was, make sure you do something that you love and you're not constantly looking at the clock.
When I first came to MPC, I was 21 and I started coaching, and I was very young and not really a full understanding of what it meant to be really a faculty member or professional. And I would go and visit Victoria, my aunt, in the president's office. She's such a great example of what a professional should look like and how a professional should behave. And I just remember thinking, oh, I need to grow up a little bit.
I think it was 1947. I was going to junior college in San Luis Obispo because my grandfather lived down there. But I got a letter from Hal Youngman telling me that MPC was going to start a football program, hoping that he could persuade me to come to MPC that fall. And I was on the first football team. We didn't have a practice field, so we had to get on the bus and go to the polo field. We didn't have showers or anything, so it was really primitive.
They played their football games here at Monterey High School. They were playing Hartnell. Place was packed, and they were getting beat badly. But the last few minutes of the game, this little guy got the football, and he ran about 80 yards for a touchdown. And the crowd went crazy. Even though they were behind then about 40-6, he scored this touchdown. And literally they carried him off the field. And I said, "Who is that little guy?" And it was Luke Phillips.
I couldn't tell you the first time I met Luke. He was a couple of years older in high school. I do remember one time we would go down to Big Sur. They would have dances in the evening. And none of us knew how to dance, but Luke did, and Luke happened to be there. And I remember all of us gathering around Luke in the parking lot while he showed us how to dance. So we did look up to Luke. We kind of walked in his shadow. Luke went to Monterey Peninsula College, and then he went to University of California, Berkeley, played on the football team.
And that's the team that played for Pappy Waldorf, and they went to the Rose Bowl, which is a rare commodity for a Cal football team. Both Luke and Victoria recognize that I'm an avid Cal football fan, and they would invite me to an event up there at Cal. I would go up there and meet some of Luke's old teammates, and I learned that some of the stories that Luke's told over the year were really true.
He had played on 2 Rose Bowl teams at Cal. And then I met Luke in 1955. I played football at San Jose State. He was introduced to us as a graduate assistant coach. And then the job came open at Monterey Peninsula College when Luke became the head coach. And I was hired in 1963. Luke started coaching there in 1957. He was a head football coach for over 40 years. He is very detailed. He knows what he wants to do. He's stubborn at times. I think maybe the biggest thing about Luke is You know where he stands all the time. He lets you know how he feels about things, and he's not bashful about telling you.
I'd get a star athlete from one of the high schools. He was a prima donna. They were supposed to run a mile before practice or after practice. And he refused to run the mile, so I said, you got a choice. You can be here at 6 o'clock in the morning and run your mile, or you can just forget about playing football here. And he'd come at 6 o'clock in the morning and run the mile. And that lasted about a week, and then he was willing to do anything. But most of the kids I got from the local high schools were already disciplined, and the local high school coaches did a great job.
This is my grandmother and my grandfather, and those are Victoria's parents. In the family, we call her as the Queen. She is Queen Victoria.
Here's a picture when I was in the Feast of Lanterns as a princess for Pacific Grove, my alma mater. I'm born in Carmel, raised in Pacific Grove, lived in Monterey for the last 35 years.
Victoria and I have lived on the peninsula all our lives. We're those lucky folks that have been here forever. I really got to know Victoria very well through the Monterey Peninsula Alumni Committee.
This year, Jane and I are the co-chairs. People donate money and we give scholarships, and we usually give 10 scholarships.
She spends a lot of time over each application, and she visualizes these students, their need, who they might be.
She just lives MPC. Her love for the students. I mean, she's so caring. She has a scholarship that she gives personally through her family, and she's just looking for the right student.
Victoria's been with the college for her entire adult life. She went there as a student, then she got a job at the college. When Dave Hopkins became the vice president of instruction, Victoria went with him into that office, and then ultimately she went with him to be the assistant to him when he was president of the college.
Dave Hopkins was a jewel of a boss. People have no idea what that job entails, not only for the superintendent president, but for his assistant.
And when she retired, there's a classic photograph of her when she was a cheerleader, and we used that photograph, and the catchline was, after all these years, still leading our cheers.
I was at MPC in 1977, and Coach Phillips asked if I wanted to go out for football, and I told him no, basically. I didn't have any designs on playing football. We had a lot of great things happen at Monterey High under Coach Albert, but I think that next chapter of my life, I was looking more, how am I going to get to the next level, to a four-year college.
When you just shoot for luck, it's not really good.
Well, Coach Phillips, I don't know, he saw something in me. He said, I know you were at Monterey High where they didn't throw the ball that much, and you played tight end, but there's a position called wide receiver. Went out there the first 4 or 5 days, I was dropping every ball that was thrown to me, dropped every pass. And he just said, that's all right, Ronnie, it's gonna come, it'll come. I focused a little bit more, and I started catching the ball. I ended up going to Long Beach State, and then signing as a free agent with the Philadelphia Eagles.
For Johnson, flag down, touchdown.
Ron Johnson makes a great reception in the end zone.
One of the neat things that happened when I was trying out for the team, our director of player personnel came up to me. He says, how's Luke Phillips doing? And I was like, you know Coach Phillips? He said, yeah, he's got the best job in football, coaching at Monterey Peninsula College.
Wide open to Johnson.
And I appreciate everything that he did for me. And so that's what I try to do here at the Boys and Girls Club. Just get some kids that maybe don't think they can do it, give them that confidence, and pass on what he gave me.
He was a head football coach and won 5 conference championships, had the Northern California championship, and also played for the state championship. We finished second. He coached cross country, had 2 cross country championships. He coached tennis and won 5 championships there. He coached golf and won 1 state championship and finished second or third twice, and won 8 conference championships.
When we met, I was just off of a divorce, and I think, nah, I'm off of men, I'm off of relationships. Leave me alone. I've got my daughter. I'm focusing clearly on that. And he came along and, well, that changed everything.
He was loud and he scared me. And I was very shy. I would stand in between my mom's legs and just hold her.
I was gruff and hollered a lot. I think she found me intimidating. She asked me what my name was, and I said, Bobo the Clown.
His actual name to me is Bo. He was Bo. He was Bobo the Clown. And he won me over.
There's a saying that 80% of life is just showing up. Ask Luke to do something, and it gets done. And the same thing applies to Victoria.
I see Victoria as MPC. I mean, she just lives MPC.
Her philosophy behind everything is to make MPC a better place because I know she loved it.
I will always have a loyalty to MPC because of people there like Luke and Victoria. They just keep on giving.